Welcome to today's Sunday Craft Talk. We are exploring the beautiful and awesome, amazing Fox Jones today. My name is Valerie, and I'll be your host. And let's dive right in and get into that creative mind that is standing before us. If you would please introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, my name is Fox Jones. I am a new author. Just recently published my first novel, When the
Yeah.
Tiger Lily Blooms. I am a military veteran, retired after 20 years of service, and I live in Florida. And being a mom to three very active teenage boys and one young adult man, and being there for my husband and letting my our beagle run our household. So that is me in a
Absolutely.
nutshell.
Very nice to meet you. First,
Thank
I
you.
would like to say thank you for your services. Congratulations on your first book being published. And if you would please tell us that name one more time.
The name of the book is When the Tiger Lily Blooms.
Yes. Okay. And do you have it there with you to show us?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
All
Right
right. All right.
here.
All right. Okay. So, your creative journey, how did it begin? What sparked it for you?
I've always written poems when I was in grade school, but I never really paid attention to it. I just thought I'll just write down some words and things. And then when I was in high school, started really getting into the arts, and my English teacher actually introduced me to this book by Ralph Ellison, Invisible Man. And then my dad introduced me to Toni Morrison, Song of Solomon. And those two books completely changed my life. And then after that, it was like, you know what? I really want to explore this side of me. When I would write, other people would like it, but I didn't really take them seriously because it's like, well, you're supposed to like it. You're my friend. You're supposed to like it. But after I published two poems for a website, and it was during a time when in South Carolina the Confederate flag came down on the state flag,
Hmm.
but we were told as military members don't talk about it, don't speak about it, and it's like, why not? It's affecting us.
Absolutely.
So I wrote those two poems. Everybody loved it. And then when I retired from this service, it was like, well, I got all this free time. Can I? What can I do? And I started writing. I'm like, you know what? This is the beginnings of a book. So let me see what I can do. And here comes When the Tiger Lily Blooms.
Awesome. So, this title really catches my attention. How did you come up with the title?
So I didn't have a title. I wrote it for 6 years and it did not have a title at all. And I was just perplexed by it. And I was actually driving my middle child to his basketball game. And then all of a sudden just popped up because because the characters, some of them are named after flowers.
Yeah,
And it was like, I need something to tie that in. But I don't want it to sound generic. I want it to catch your eye. And then while I was driving, I'm like, Tiger Lily, Tiger Lily. Oh my goodness. And I was driving. I scared him when I said, oh my goodness, write this down on your phone right now, because I know I'm gonna forget. And then I told the title, When the Tiger Lily Blooms. And he was just like, okay, mom.
now that's a great story. I want to say journey, not story.
Right.
Because when I looked at the title, I'm like, I know this is a flower. I want to know how it connects to the characters. As you
Yeah.
said, some of them do have names of flowers.
Yeah.
So that was going to be my first question off the bat. I had to know, how did you choose that? Because when I looked up tiger lilies, I was like, well, they bloom in the summer and they last only a little while. How does
Mhm.
that correlate? So I appreciate that. Now, your military experience, does it have a great deal to do with what you have written about.
Yes, it does. I'm pretty sure you've heard about it, and a lot of people heard about it. One of the huge problems we have in the military, especially being a woman,
Yes.
is sexual assault, sexual harassment, those types of things. And I could even speak from my own experience when um, sexual assault, sexual harassment happened. It was always blaming the victim. It never,
Mm,
the military really didn't go after the perpetrator. And what made it worse was is that when it would come out and we would talk about these things, it was always okay. Just take this class and everything, and bless you. And I wanted something like I'm tired of us talking about it, and we're
mhm,
just throwing Nerf darts. That's all we're doing,
mhm.
just to show that yeah, we are doing something about it. So I really wanted to write something where yes, we're throwing darts, but it will stick. You will feel it. You will at least connect with it on some level.
Absolutely. Okay, so it does have a military background, and you started writing as a child. Did you see yourself writing about the experience in a way as you did in the book from
No,
back then when you first started writing?
no, not at all. I thought I was going to write about fairies and unicorns and kind of like J.R. Tolkien or C.S. Lewis type. I
Hmm.
didn't see myself writing like this at all, but I realized there is a need for it.
Absolutely. And in the book, it does speak of trauma.
Yeah.
And with that, we can also correlate that not just in the military, but
Hmm.
in life itself, because you help us with, ways to cope. Can
Yeah.
you tell us some of the things that help to get you through that you might have put in the book without revealing
Right.
your own personal history?
Music. Definitely music helped. Writing definitely helped. And actually finding that trusted person
Hmm.
who is able to guide you through your hurt and your trauma, but at the same time let you to hold you accountable too. Not just to smooth it over, be like, oh, we'll be okay, you'll be okay. Some of us are good with that. Some of us, I don't want that. I'm like, look,
Hmm.
I'm not a kid. Please talk to me. And a lot of us would love to have those friends that are like, girl, I know you hurting, but girl, let's do this. I know you could do this. But in such a way where it's not demeaning to us, but at the same time uplifting. And that is one of the things
Absolutely.
that really helped me out through this. And I wanted to put that through the book too. Not everybody's healing journey is the same. I mean, the
Hmm.
main characters is not the same as actually mine.
Right.
But I wanted to show that it is possible, and through a journey that is not typical, she still healed through it, or is still healing through it.
Absolutely. And I can understand, and I also relate because I went through sexual trauma as well as a child. And my healing took on writing. It took on many forms, but I found
Yes.
what worked best for me was to write it out. And I started performing poetry about the trauma. And that really started me on my journey to heal. Is there a particular, I know you said writing and music, but an inner experience that you helped you to say, I have to heal. I need to move on. So let me give you an example. For me,
Mhm.
it was having my first child.
Yes.
I said, I have to heal myself so that I don't damage her. And I want to be a full functioning mother to her. Is there anything that correlates like that for you?
Exactly how you said it. My kids. I mean, I mean, children have a way of bringing something out in you, and also your spouse, and that definitely helped them. When I saw my three, is like, and in the book, I also talk about generational trauma as well.
Hmm.
And one of the
Hmm.
things I did not want is to, whatever I was going through, I didn't want them to feel it. I didn't want them to go through it. And for that, I knew that I had to work on myself to make sure that I could be the best for them.
Now, You mentioned generational trauma that
Hmm.
hits home. We don't realize it
No.
until, like you said, we go through a healing process, but that this was something that was passed down generationally. Do you see yourself as one who have withstood the journey to break certain cycles in the lineage?
Yes, and sometimes when we're in those things, we don't realize we're in those things until you start talking to your female friends, and then you get around, you drink your mimosas, and you're like, wait a minute, you went through that? And we're not even from the same place. And then when you keep talking about it, you're like, you know what, that really isn't right. Really,
Yes.
I mean, we laugh about it now, but it's from a place of pain and a place of, whoo, thank goodness I made it. It's not from
Hmm.
a place, and it was crazy because at first I was thinking I was the only one who went through those things, but as I was in the military and then out of the military and talking to my girlfriends, we all had the same not same but similar experience. So it didn't really so after that, it made me feel comfortable in knowing that, hey, it's not just me. And maybe with what the other stuff that's going on, maybe take a peek at that to see.
Okay. Now, you mentioned that after the military, it was spoken about with other females.
Mhm.
So, were there times when it was happening that you thought that maybe somebody else is going through that, or did anyone else try to connect with you during that time? Or was it just like in our community, what's
Mhm.
done in the house stays in the house
Yes,
kind of
yes.
atmosphere?
Yeah, we don't show raggedy draws to company.
Yes, yeah. And I'm like, that makes no sense. I mean, if you're doing it and it's
Hmm.
wrong, it needs to be told and stopped.
Yes.
So that's what you experienced during that time as well. What's done here stays here. And then you had to figure out how to deal with it yourself.
Yes. And it didn't make sense to blame it. It's like, you know
Hmm.
what, it happened. I can't go back in the past and undo what has been done. What
Hmm.
all I could do is learn and do better. And that's how, excuse me, how I took it. And even with my female friends, we all talked about it. It was like, you know what, what's done is done. We don't doubt that
Hmm.
we felt loved, but we just
Hmm.
know there are better ways to get your point across.
Absolutely. Okay, so when did you know this particular book was in your soul to write? Or when did you know you were going to take that journey?
Actually, I think it just punched me in the face because I wasn't expecting it at all. I
Oh,
mean, when after I retired, I'm not gonna lie to you. After 20 years, you just feel like your sense of community is gone because
uh-huh.
that's all you know.
Hmm.
And when I started writing, at first it was the poems. I actually wrote the poems first. That's in the
Wow.
book. And then it just morphed into something else. And then it was like, you know what? Let me just keep writing with this. Let me just keep on with this. And me being a lover of thriller movies, I love James Bond. I love Da Vinci Code. I love all those things. But the thing
Hmm.
is, I just realized, like, wait a minute. One, I don't see anybody that looks like us.
Hmm.
And two is like whenever you talk about a military service or the main character is always a male. And if
Hmm.
there's a female involved, they're either what I like to say, they're either the sidekick or the side chick.
Yes.
And they're either the love interest and you don't know much about them, or they're the sidekick like Money Penny. Yeah, she's smart. If it wasn't for her, James Bond wouldn't even be able to do what he does, but you really don't know too much about her.
Hmm.
And to be honest, I was like, you know what? It's time. I mean, what happened to the Foxy Browns and the Cleopatra Jones? We need to bring that back and modernize it. So after that, that was my inspiration, and I'm like, let's just do this.
Awesome. So, did you self publish?
Yes.
Okay. How was that experience for you?
Honestly, it wasn't as scary as I thought it was. At first, after I wrote it, and when you're going out there, you're like, okay, I wrote it, now what?
Yes,
And there are so many things out there, and you can't, and it's hard to decipher what's true, what's not.
yes.
And luckily, in this Facebook group that I'm in, a book mentor came out. She was like, "Hey, what you need is a book mentor. I'm not a book coach. I'm a book mentor. I tell you how to, I guide you, but at the end of the day, you have to do your own work, which is what I absolutely love."
Okay.
So once she guided me and I saw it, and it wasn't as difficult as I thought it was, because you're hearing publishing, you're like, oh my gosh,
Yes.
I gotta do this and this, and you're running around crazy. And while it's all on you, at the same time, once you get through it, you realize it's like it's not that bad. And I can't believe I'm letting somebody else do this for me.
Okay. How
So
long did you go to get through the self-publishing portion of it? How long did that take?
it took almost a year and a half, I would like to say, a year
Okay.
and a half,
And how
because
long did you say that it took to write the book
6
itself?
years.
6 years.
6 years.
Okay. Okay. So were
But
you holding on to it or just building up the book itself in
I
those
was
6 years, going back
I,
and forth?
yes, going back and forth. Do I want a traditional? Do I want to self-publish? What do I do? Maybe it's not good enough. It's a lot of imposter syndrome going on too.
Uh-huh.
And it's like I don't think I could do it. I mean, you read all these other great novelists, and you're like, I could never get there. So I luckily I had a very good support system. My husband, my kids, they were like, Mom, if you've actually read the stuff that's out there now, I think you'll be good.
Okay. All
You'll be
right.
good.
Hats off to the kids and hubby. Thank you for
Yes.
supporting a girl on this journey. We need you.
Yes.
Are you planning to write more books?
Yes. My second project is a collection of poems and essays. That will be coming out this spring, called Petals and Gems. It is actually a companion to the novel, and I'm working on the follow up to the When the Tiger Lily Blooms. So I've got a lot of irons in the fire right now,
That
but
is
I'm looking forward to it.
okay. That is absolutely wonderful. So we get the first book,
Mhm.
and then we'll have a follow up of poetry, which is my absolute favorite. Are you thinking about doing or maybe I should say, is there a self help journal to follow with these?
Actually, I've toyed around with it, and that's all I'm gonna say. I've toyed around with it. It's not
Okay.
out of the, it's not out, but I've toyed around with it. I've thought about it.
Okay. So, in your writing, when did you find time for yourself to actually write? Being a mother, a wife, and having other responsibilities, did you have to wake up early in the morning and set time aside, or late at night?
All of the above. All of the above. E-
Absolutely.
Even sometimes when I'm at the kids' football or basketball games, a thought just pops into my head, and I'm like, look, like I got my phone, got notes, and I just start writing. And then later on, I look at it again. It's like, you know what, this would fit here. So
Okay.
I'm always writing. I got notebooks all around the house, and even I do set the alarms. Yes, I gotta get my workout in. I gotta get my writing in. Got to do those things.
Okay. So there's the self care, getting the workout in, a
Yes.
great thing. I was just going to ask you to take us through a typical day of
Whew.
having all of these things to do, plus accomplishing your goals and taking care of yourself. What does that look like for us? Give us some tips. Like for me, we all say we're going to work out, but do we
Right.
really do it? There you go. Excuse me.
So
Yeah. So,
I just realized with 24 hours in a day, and yeah,
mhm.
you may have to make some sacrifice here or there, but if you really want something, you're going to do it. So while I have to be at work at 6, I
Yeah.
actually get up at 3, one to do my workout. Then after that, I shower, do all that, coffee, have some time to myself because nobody else is awake except for the dog.
Uh-huh.
And then I write, just jot down what I'm thinking. That's all I do is just jot down what I'm thinking. It could be anything from, hey, this is the outline I want for this chapter, to, you know what, I woke up feeling the way today.
Okay. And it's okay to be in our
After that, get
feelings.
the husband out the door. Yes. Get the husband out the door, get the boys out the door, do my 8 hour shift. And then after that, you know what? I got like an hour and a half, 2 hours before I had to put on mom mode. So then I write then too.
Okay.
And it's either I write or I edit or I revise, work with my editor, those types of things. I love my editor because I can't stand editing at all. I can't do it because I think whatever I write is perfect. But no,
Uh-huh.
you got to have an editor. Then after
Okay.
that, I go ahead, go to the boys' games or to their practice, come home, dinner, usually something easy and quick. Then they go to bed. Me and my husband go to bed. We watch it. We watch a movie together, or we talk about each other's day. Then after that, when he goes to sleep, write some more. Then go to bed. Start all over again.
Oh, okay, sister. Hats off. We have to keep doing that, don't we, to get everything done. We wear multiple hats all the time.
Yes, we
I
do.
have 4 kids too, so I completely understand the go, go, go
Yes.
and making time for self and how important it is. So let's go back to the focus of the book for a moment.
Mhm.
If there was any advice that you would give to someone who's actually been through the trauma or going through the trauma, what
Mhm.
would be the advice for us to begin our healing journey?
Well, the advice I would give is, one, don't bottle it up. It only becomes worse.
Hmm.
Seek out therapy. That is a main thing. And whether that's music therapy, actually sitting down talking to a person face to face, or whatever gives you joy. So if you enjoy doing yoga, that is a type of therapy. You can let out all of that through that yoga, or you're working out kickboxing, you're pretending you're beating up the dude, or whatever happened to you. It's always finding something that connects you back to self. My Reiki master said, grounding. You always have to ground yourself. And that is one of the things that I did. And also, don't be afraid to embrace the unknown. I'm not going to, I'll go ahead and put it out there. I was raised in a very strictly religious Christian home, and
Hmm.
dealing with crystals and all that was an absolute no no. But once I actually read up on it and researched it for myself, that was one of the best things I've done. So whenever I feel my chakras not aligned, I make a call to her, and she's like, "Girl, I got you. I just charged them up. Get over here." And you know what? It makes everything better. So whatever connects to your spirit, where you can feel whole again, whether it's talking to somebody, whether it's singing, whether it's music, writing, running, that is a start of healing yourself.
Absolutely. Now, just to hit on one thing, because during our conversation, we have multiple things in common. I have my crystal sitting right here, right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I have my Reiki master as well. So I'm just like, okay, we hitting it off up in here because these are things that I had to do to heal my inner self. Being abused, sexually abused as a child, not knowing what was going on,
Mm-hmm.
getting through it, um, being told that if you tell, I'll kill your mother,
Mm.
and all these type of things. And just to see, we've had different journeys, but they
Mm-hmm.
are connecting because we understand. I know the religious side as well, and there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing against it. It just didn't
No.
help me. I
Right.
had to find what helped me, and
Yes.
I found it in the crystals, in
Mm-hmm.
the Reiki healing, in
Mm-hmm.
meditation, and yoga. And
Yes.
these are the things that we want to share with our audience today to say, yes, you can. You can
Yes.
get through whatever it is. It doesn't matter what the trauma is. We have to do the inner work
Yes,
first.
ma'am.
I can't do it for you, and you
Mm-mm.
can't do it for me.
No, not at all.
Uh-huh. I was talking to somebody the other day, about trauma because I do a lot of speaking on that. And the first thing I said was, okay, You've talked about it. Have you worked it out? Because there is a difference. You could tell by the attitude it was still anger and bitterness there.
Mm-hmm.
And you're still holding on to it. It's still holding you captive.
Mm-hmm.
So, what can we do to help release it so that you can speak about it openly and freely because it no longer bothers you? Do you have any advice for someone that's still in that predicament, who is still in victim mode, to help them move to the next step?
Well, you can't, well, I've learned this. You can't push somebody
Yeah,
on a journey that you took.
yeah.
Everybody heals differently. I remember when it happened to somebody I knew, and as a supervisor in the military, first thing you're told is report it. But that person didn't want to report. She was just like, you know what? I just wanted to go away.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to go back. And when you push somebody before they're ready, that's even more detrimental to
Mm-hmm.
the actual incident itself. So all I would say is, even though they may be angry or whatever, as a person that you're sharing this connection with, you just listen, because at that moment right then, they just want somebody to listen. They're just venting.
Absolutely.
They need to get it out because they know if they hold on to it, it's going to be much worse. It will sound to you that they are angry. It may sound to you that they are bitter, and it's true. They have every right to be. But
Absolutely.
we as the listeners, as the helpers in that sense, we have to feel off of them like, okay, what are they willing to do? And even though with the anger issue, because I was angry for a very long time, and I realized through my therapy, I was angry because I was confused, because I was like, why did it happen to me?
Yep.
And how did I let that happen to me?
Yep.
And it takes a long time. It took me 20 years to get to that point. But I mean, there's not a right answer for it. There's not, it all depends on the person and I don't want to say vibe, but it's actually the vibe between you and that person, what you're feeling. Because if we're talking and you may feel that I'm bitter, you may feel comfortable enough to say, hey, have you tried, getting your chakras aligned? Have you tried a sound bath? If you just lay in the calm and have a warm blanket over you and just listen to the bowls, I guarantee you will feel 100 times better. It will release something. And it's all upon the person. So at the end of the day, I say all that as the person listening to, just feel off of them and know, don't just say, hey, go report it. Just, what do you need for me to do? Be open in that space. So then that person can feel better and they can actually
Mm-hmm.
tell you what they need, and then you can go from there.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And I am so thankful that you shared that with us because what I wanted to get across is not everyone heals the same.
No.
Not everyone's journey to healing will be the same. So we need to be mindful of that
Mm-hmm.
and empathetic. No
Yes,
matter where
definitely.
they are in their process, it is their process they have to go through. What we need to do is know where we stand to support them. If it's just
Exactly.
holding their hand or
Mm-hmm.
even getting a box of ice cream with them spoons, you
Yes.
know,
Mm-hmm.
let's put ourselves in the mindset of I can't fix it, but
Right.
what can I do to help the process?
Yes.
Yes. So in your book, the character has gone through all of this.
Yeah.
What is her outcome or the outcome? Is there a complete, well, there's never complete healing, but
Mm-mm.
what is the transition to say, I have to move on?
I think when she was surrounded by sisterhood, because she never felt that before. And once she went through training and she had all these strong women just enveloping her, around her, surrounding her, and giving her that tough love, but at the same time, love nonetheless, and just that encouragement. And she got it all front. She got it physically, she got it mentally, she got it spiritually, and all of that coming together, and it was genuine, is when
Mhm.
she started to say, okay, you know what? she started to bloom.
That is beautiful. Okay, so I want to ask you, do you have any other thoughts or anything relating to the book that you want to share with us before we close down?
It's a thriller. It's not what you think it is. It will take you on some twists and turns. One day you're in Alaska, the next day you're in Hawaii, the next day you may be over in Holland. But the ending is not what you think it is, and not everybody is what they seem.
Okay, where can we get this book and how can we follow you? What's your social media platforms? Give us the details.
So my book is currently on Amazon. When the Tiger Lily Blooms is now available ebook and paper copy. Also, my social media handles, you can follow me on Facebook, Author Fox Jones, and Instagram, Author Fox Jones 1.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Fox Jones, I want to thank you for participating today. This has been inspiring for me to continue to go further. And also, it will help some other women and even other people, not just women.
Yes.
So I want to thank you for this amazing chat. And I want to invite you separately. So I'll talk to you separately later on to come, because we have some more things that you could share on our other platforms, especially during Black Writers Weekend. So I will be sending you that information again personally, but I would love to have you there to share this experience as well.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for having me. This has been an amazing experience. Thank you.
Much love. Yes, thank you. And you have a great day. We're going to go back and thank our sponsors.
Thank you.
All right.
Our stories, our voice, our history hasn't always been welcomed. But we learned long ago that if America won't celebrate us, then we will celebrate our own, told our way, on our time. Today we have thousands of Black creators in film. Thousands of books are on the shelves of stores around the world. But it wasn't always as easy. For Lena, for Hattie, for James, for Zora, for Langston, we fought for a place in American history, and we've empowered our own voices, keeping our stories alive. Remember Philando, remember Mike, remember Trayvon, remember Sandra, remember Oscar, remember Brianna. No more will Black voices go unheard. No more will Black stories go unread. We will write our own history and create our own legacies. And each summer in Atlanta, we will gather. We will celebrate. We speak out. Black voices matter. Black stories matter. Black lives matter. Everybody has a story to tell. Make sure that you tell yours. Create your story. Dream out loud.
In a world where creativity meets the digital age, one agency stands out from the rest. Welcome to Delphine Legacy Media. We are a team of passionate experts and creatives dedicated to elevating your brand to new heights.
I learned so much today. It was really inspiring hearing everyone speak about all their different experiences and getting together like authors and screenwriters. And I learned a lot from this.
Their creativity and expertise are second to none. But what sets us apart? We tailor our services to fit your unique needs. Whether you're an author, a business owner, or an artist, our services include interviews, media tours, book tours, and speaking engagements, all designed to put your brand in the spotlight. Are you an artist that seeks to obtain more media, headline your own book tour, or adapt a film? Or perhaps you need media training to best prepare yourself? Whatever it may be, we can manage it. Picture your brand in the limelight. Picture your brand in the limelight. Your vision realized. At Delphine Legacy Media, we're partners in your success. Ready to take your brand to the next level? Contact us today. Delphine Legacy Media, where creativity meets success.